All right, guys. So I want to react to this absolutely amazing rant here from Stephen A. Smith, in which he's probably going to get a whole lot of backlash for because he's doing something that you cannot do as a black man in America or just a black person in general, right? You can't do this. Okay, this is forbidden, right? You cannot talk about black on black crime or violence. Okay, if you talk about that, you're a sellout, you're, a racial slur, you're this, you're that. All the things that people with IQs below room temperature call black folks who actually point out the truth about what's happening in these inner liberal cities. Okay, I mean, the people that claim they care about black lives so much, again, they get really, really upset when black people are concerned about black lives that are being lost at the hands of other black people. And Stephen A. Smith here, again, is going to go on an amazing rant calling out the hypocrisy of the mainstream liberal media, okay, of the woke race hustlers of America. I mean, he's kind of one of them, but he's gonna call them out on the fact that they're silent. And again, rants like this from Stephen A. Smith make me believe that Stephen A. is not as woke as he comes off on television, okay? Because Stephen A. has had run-ins with the pro-black mafia before when it came to the Kaepernick situation, in which he pointed out correctly that, hey, this guy actually really doesn't want to play, okay? And the pro-black mob got super upset with him for pointing that out, and then he kind of did a U-turn on the Kaepernick situation, right? So he's clearly influenced by black people who, watch his show or whatever, and I think that sometimes that keeps him from actually saying the things that he really wants to say, okay? I think Stephen A. is more moderate politically, just based off some of the things I've heard him talk about before in the past. But again, this is one of his better rants here, and I want to react to it. So without further ado, let's get into it.
When we gonna look at ourselves when it comes to black people being killed in the streets of America? I don't even want to get into what happened in Chicago, but I have no choice. This past Memorial Day weekend, from Friday to Monday, at least 53 people were shot. 11 fatally, according to police. If one black person was killed by the police, we'd raise holy hell, and in some cases, there'd be riots in the streets. And damn it, I'm not here to sit up there and blame anybody for that, because I'm tired of the nonsense that we've seen going on in the streets aimed at black Americans. That's not where I'm going. What I'm saying is, where's the due diligence when it comes to putting a spotlight on what we're doing to each other?
Well, again, you can't talk about that, right? The reason why you can't talk about that is because, again, if you're black and you talk about it, you're a sellout, okay? You're selling out black people for pointing out what is killing most black people in this country, okay? You're a sellout. Also, on top of that, people get uncomfortable with the fact that, statistically speaking, black people commit a vast majority of the crimes, disproportionately, okay? And when we're talking about murders, we're talking about over 50%. Again, you can't point out these facts. If you point out facts, then apparently that's hate, okay? And also on top of that, you can't make money off of it, right? You can't make money off of pointing out that, hey, you have black people out here killing each other disproportionately, right? We're out here killing each other, and people aren't interested in it, right? People don't really want to hear about it because there's no race angle, right? We can't sit and go back and forth with each other about what happened in regards to whether or not it was racist, right? Again, they only care, again, if you can play the black versus white angle, okay? Because black versus white is profitable, right? People love going back and forth over that. Nobody ever wants to self-reflect and to criticize themselves. They rather just point the finger at somebody else and say, well, it's your fault, right? They blame the white man for black people killing each other. Well, the white man made black people do it because the white man made black people poor, right? That's essentially the argument in a nutshell, okay? That's what they say.
Because this shit is pissing me off. 53 lives. 53 in one weekend. It's not the first time this has happened. It's been happening year after year after year. Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore, the list goes on and on.
Throw Memphis in there too. Memphis, St. Louis, I mean, those cities are not talked about enough. Okay, those cities are some of the most dangerous cities in the world. Okay, not just the United States, but in the world. For example, St. Louis. St. Louis has a murder rate per capita of 87. So 87 per 100,000 people, which would make St. Louis a top 10 most dangerous city in the world, right? I mean, we're talking about that city being more dangerous than, you know, places in Venezuela, right? In Central and South America, okay? I mean, it's more dangerous than Cape Town. Again, this is what we're talking about here. And this city is in the United States of America. Again, this is a city that has a large black population, and nobody's talking about it. The representative from that city, okay, the district, Cori Bush, she's nowhere to be found, right? She never talks about it. In fact, she wants to actually defund the police. She wants more crime and violence, okay, while also paying for her own protection. In fact, she married a security guard, right? That's how much she believes in police for her, but police for nobody else. It's amazing. And these people never get called out about it. They're never called out about the fact that they ignore the black lives that are lost every single day in these liberal cities. It's crazy. These cities are dangerous. They're some of the most dangerous cities in the world. And we're not talking about, we're not having a conversation like, hey, is this normal in a first world country to have cities that dangerous? Right? It's crazy.
Where's the noise at? Where's the protests? Where's mainstream media talking about that? Where is it? That's what I want to know. Because let me tell you something. Nothing else matters if we're dead. Nothing else matters if we're killing each other. Forget about what we deserve. Some people have different forms of reparations. They want money from the government, even though the government's national debt is at $31.4 trillion as of last month. I hear you, though.
Stephen A. See, that's the thing about Stephen A. that gets me, bro. I know for a fact this man is too smart to come off as liberal and progressive and as woke as he does on First Take. Like, I know it's an act. Like, there's no doubt. If I had a private conversation with this man, we probably would agree on so much, right? But I get it, right? In order to be in the mainstream liberal media, you gotta be woke, okay? So I get where Stephen A. is coming from here. He gotta protect his bag. But again, listen to this guy. He's basically mocking the idea of reparations, right? Like, he knows it's not gonna happen. He knows it's economically untenable, right? That it can't happen, okay? But, you know, hey, he still has to try to play to the crowd here, right? He has to try to play to the crowd here. You're gonna see him do that moving forward.
Because damn it, if we come up with money to give to Ukraine, which I'm not opposed to.
Yeah, allegedly you're not opposed to it, right? You got to come up here and say that, because if you come out here and say that you're opposed to giving money to Ukraine, that's your ass, right? That's your job, okay? That's your job. They're not going to let you be on a Disney network, okay, which ESPN is a Disney network, right? They're not going to let you be on a Disney network talking about you're opposed to sending money to Ukraine. Again, it's just funny. This guy he's hilarious to me, because I know that a lot of this is an act. I know that Stephen A., he's too smart to come off as democratic or as liberal as he does sometimes. I know that.
And we come up with money to take care of immigrants coming into our borders. And we come up with money every time we feel the need to address one issue or another that happens in this country. We damn sure could come up with money for our minority populace that contributed to the upliftment of this country that was marginalized and demonized and ostracized and oppressed for years.
Yeah, you got to play that card, right? He playing that card. Because, again, it's a fine line. It's a balance here.
Nobody's trying to sit up there and say that we don't deserve something.
You know damn well they don't deserve nothing, bro. Again, these people want to chat, okay? They want to chat.
My point is, it's debatable as to what that could be. It could be making sure the economy flourishes and that there's job opportunities. It could be by contributing to education and enabling folks that otherwise couldn't afford an education to make sure they get educated so we can uplift our society. There's a variety of ways.
Well, here's the thing. The second one already exists. People already have the ability to uplift themselves through education. They just don't want it, right? They don't care, right? People try to act like community colleges don't exist. People try to act like they're not educational opportunities, that millions and millions of dollars have not been poured into these communities already. Sometimes you just got to be truthful and acknowledge what it is. It's a culture problem, right? We got a culture problem. Doesn't matter how much money you invest in a community where the culture is terrible. It's just going to be a disaster. You're just going to be burning money. It is what it is. But again, people had the opportunity to vote for a good economy, but they decided that Trump is racist, right? Trump is racist. Therefore, we don't care about that. We just want the bad white man out of office. Because under Trump, we had the lowest black unemployment rate in history. Under Trump, we had a thriving economy, at least before COVID, okay? Before COVID, everything was great. I don't understand what people were so upset about, right? But apparently, again, because Trump is racist, okay, he's a white man, they voted for Biden. And now, all of a sudden, we have inflation, high gas prices, okay, the economy's struggling, interest rates are up, and, people are struggling out here, right? And a lot of people are saying, hey, we want Trump back, right? We want Trump back. But again, you should have thought about all this stuff before you went and voted for Biden at a 90% clip, okay? I'm just saying. These people don't care about that stuff as much as they care about so-called racism and getting a check, right? Because those things, right, having a good economy requires you go out and get a job, okay, that take advantage of the good economy. Or providing educational opportunities means that you have to actually care about school. You have to actually go to school and care about getting an education. Those things require actual accountability and responsibility and action. Getting a check doesn't require anything, okay? So, again, that's the disconnect here, right? You can say that all you want about, again, reparations in the form of economic opportunities, but people don't want to hear that, right? Because people just want to check, okay? They don't care about the fact that we've already tried this stuff. We've already done this stuff. Look at the Great Society. Look at affirmative action, okay? This is stuff we've been implementing to try to help out black folks. But again, unless you give them an actual check, right, it's never going to be enough. It's not going to be enough.
That reparations could take place, but it doesn't matter if we're dead. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Also don't matter, too, if we can't reproduce, right? Which, again, is the abortion problem, right? Democrats pushing abortion all day long in the black community. If we can't reproduce and we're killing each other, what do you think is going to happen to the black population? Again, it's hilarious because people try to say black conservatives, again, you're selling out to the white man. I'm like, no, I'm actually, like, look at me from a policy perspective. I'm pro-black, right? From a policy perspective. Because if I was a white supremacist, I'd be pro-abortion. I would be pro-gun control in regards to letting the criminals have all the guns and the law-abiding citizens and women can't protect themselves. Okay, I would want to defund the police, right? I would want to keep black people dependent on the government, right? That to me is what I would do if I was a white supremacist, right? That's what I would do. But when you talk about the black conservatives, being pro-life, right, aka wanting more black babies, okay, being pro-nuclear family structure, wanting fathers in homes, being tough on crime, getting criminals off the street, okay, that are causing violence in the black community, where you have businesses that can't thrive, wanting to lower taxes so that businesses and entrepreneurs can create economic opportunity for themselves. I'm pro-black across the board, right, which also happens to be pro-America as well, too. But I'm just saying, that's not the way people look at it. They don't look at it from a policy by policy standpoint. They look at it as, well, do you think that black people are victims or not, right? If you don't think that black people are victims and, should get a check cut from the government, then you're a sellout. It's amazing.
Especially at our own hands.
But yeah, none of this matters if we're not alive, right? Again, it's just funny how that works. Stephen A., I think that, again, this is just more evidence that he is not as woke as he comes off on ESPN. But, hey, again, you got to walk a fine line when you're in the mainstream liberal media. And you see Stephen A. doing that. But his real opinions, I think, are definitely more moderate than he comes off on ESPN. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.